Hey, today I'm going to show you my favorite arm workout. We're going to blast those arms. I'm going to be training with my husband Harry. There's a couple things I want you to know before we start. You got to breathe. You never want to hold your breath, so make sure you breathe. And second of all, make sure that you're releasing the weight slowly. 70% of your muscle stimulation occurs on the release, which is the negative. You got the negative and the positive. The negative is the most important part of the movement. So you're going to be going slow on the release, and you're going to power it up. Another thing I want you to remember when you're doing biceps is supinate at the top of the movement. The reason you want to do that, that's just a rotating out. Look what happens whenever I rotate my wrist out. I get a full, complete peak on the bicep. So instead of just coming straight up into the body when you're doing curls, you always want to take a wide grip or supinate if you're using a dumbbell, bringing your pinky to your shoulder. Those are some important things to remember. Let's get started. So we're starting with standing dumbbell curls, alternating. And we're going to superset that with overhead dumbbell extensions. I like to superset. A true superset is only resting 3 seconds to get from one exercise to the other. You notice he's supinating it out at the top of the movement. Going right into the overhead tricep extension. Usually at the beginning of the workout, I reserve the first combination of exercises to be the movements that I do where requiring the most amount of strength. So I would do overhead dumbbell extensions supersetted with standing dumbbell curls. You can do this movement standing or seated or lying. I like this one best. You get a really good stretch. You would do 3 sets, back and forth, right back into the biceps. So you do a total of 6 sets without stopping. Pumping up the bis and tris, going heavy. Now we're going to do some preacher curls. I like doing a straight bar with a preacher curl unless you have bad wrists. The straight bar forces you to supinate at the top of the movement, where a curl bar would bring your wrist in. Now, I don't like doing your preacher curl in a typical position this way because it puts a lot of stress on the joint. So I come around and I come at it from a straight position. So your arms are hanging straight down. There's no pressure on the elbows. Breathe out, hold it for a peak contraction. Release it slow, coming all the way to the bottom, letting it hang. And then pulling it up. After this, nice and slow, full stretch, slow on the negative, pull it up, down slow. We're going to do 10 reps of this, then we're going to go on over to the tricep press down and do a couple of laps of triceps, supersetting, only resting 3 seconds to get from this exercise to the triceps. Let's go. Here we are doing some tricep press downs. We're going to do 2 rounds, regular press downs, reverse press downs, overhead cable extensions. 2 laps without stopping. So it's a total of 6 sets. That's why I like using this little curl bar, because you can do regular press down, then take a wide grip reverse, and the angle of the wrist is neutral during this versus a straight bar, which might put a little more pressure on the wrist. And we're going to go straight into overhead cable tricep extensions. Notice how that upper arm is completely stationary. The elbows aren't coming up and down. Right into the overheads. We'll do 2 laps of this. That's it. Keeping the elbows in. Full stretch. Full contraction. Do another lap and head over to the preacher curls again. 3 rounds. So it'll be a total of 6 sets here, 3 sets on the preacher. That's 9 sets non-stop. Bicep, triceps, superset. Now we're going right into the 21s. 21 is a technique you can use on any exercise. You're going to do partial reps for 7, halfway up. And then we'll do partial reps for 7. Coming all the way up on number 7, halfway down for 7, to trying to keep that upper arm stationary so there's not a lot of up and down on the, basically the elbow should be pointed to the ground. A little supination at the top, bringing the pinkies to the shoulders. Now, the last 7, we go all, this is the tough one, you got to go all the way down and let it pause, and bring it up. Supinating, turning out at the top of the movement, kind of like you're thumbing a ride. That's it. Full stretch, down slow. Now, the more tired you get, the slower you go. Yeah, feel that bicep. Full stretch. And squeeze it up. Keeping the wrist straight. The wrists take a lot of abuse when you weight train, so the wrist should always be straight. One more, and I think we got 7. Drop these down, and we go right back into the cable headbangers without rest. The lower the angle is on that bench that he just got off of, the harder the 21s are. I actually like the angle down a little bit further when I do 21s. But it works for him. Alright, here we go. Back to the cable headbangers. 3 sets. 10 reps. Tricep headbangers. With the cable. Railroading it. What number am I on? I always lose count.
That's 12.
Oh, drop it down. Drop it away. Drop it 1 or 2 plates. Down, without rest. 10 more. Triceps are actually 2/3 of your arm size. If you want big arms, hit those triceps hard. Here we go. Drop it a plate. One more time. Railroad down the rack 3 times. We're going to go right back in. Bicep 21s. While the triceps are working, the biceps are resting, so you can superset bis and tris. Oh yeah. So that was my bicep tricep superset workout. I can get 21 sets done in about 25 minutes. You start with the alternating dumbbell curls, go to the overhead dumbbell extensions. Those are the exercises where you need the most strength, so I do those first. Then I move on to the preacher curls, supersetted with the tricep press down combination with the overhead, that little tricep that we did. Then we move on to the incline dumbbell curls, doing 21s, supersetted with the lying tricep cable headbangers, doing railroading. That's my favorite arm workout.